Earlier in this week, we had one of our colleagues from across the street. You know him and you love him, Stéphane Giroux from CTV Montreal, came into studio. Reason he was on is because I'd seen his post on Facebook about his car being broken into. He's a longtime resident of the village and, of course, benefits. He gets to walk to work, 5-minute walk to work, right? The corner of Papineau and René Lévesque. So I want you to listen, just a brief snippet here of Stéphane Giroux from Tuesday, 10 a.m. when he was on this program. Have a listen.
It's starting to feel like enough is enough because I've witnessed the neighborhood decline severely over the past 3 years. I've been living there for 15 years. I've always known that this was a tough neighborhood, a mix of gentrification, a mix of, people who are suffering from mental illness, a lot of addiction, and unfortunately, a lot of drug dealers.
So just a little bit of what Stéphane Giroux had to say about living in the neighborhood, and he told us so much about what his neighbors have gone through as well. With that in mind, we reached out to the team at Ensemble Montréal to talk a little further about their plan for the village, trying to make sure that part of town, and we see it in the rest of the Ville-Marie borough, trying to bring up the notion of safety in that part of the city. Benoit Langevin joins us now. Of course, he's a city councillor with Ensemble Montréal. He's normally a West Island boy, right? Because in Pierrefonds-Roxboro. Benoit, thank you for coming into studio.
It's my pleasure.
So first things first, you are the official opposition critic on the fight against poverty and homelessness. I know you heard our interview with Stéphane. So what do you say?
I want to say that Stéphane is not the only person living this scenario in the village, and it's been, like Stéphane said, ongoing for far too long. I've heard yesterday a merchant saying that his insurance would no longer insure him, and it's $6,000 windows that gets broken every 6 months. And so that is by itself convincing for businesses to not renew their lease.
Why would you stick around, huh? If you can't get insurance, why would you stick around?
Unless you have this sense of a village, this sense of belonging in the village. And I was listening to Stéphane, and in something that you hear a lot in that area is that people have been there for decades and they feel they want to contribute and they want to get involved with the situation, but they feel powerless about what's going on.
And I lived in a 10-minute walk from here, right? South of the village. Lived there for 4 years. And it's one of the reasons why I left. Some of the same concerns. I was seeing it degrade on the streets in and around where I was living. So what do you think should be done? And when I ask you that, what should be different as to the current plan? Because you talk to Projet Montréal and the councillors, and that in their heart, they don't want to see this either, right?
No.
But something's not working. It's only getting worse and worse. So where have we gone down the wrong path?
The first thing is that since the pandemic, homelessness has been increasing to an alarming rate, and the needs are exploding and different types of homelessness. And unfortunately, over the past 7 years, what we've seen from the Plante administration is insufficient investment in localities, investment in buildings, in places where you can create shelters. The city owns 78 buildings that they are owner of, and those all require renovation. So money. Why isn't there more money? Actually, it's $789,000 that is allocated at the last 10-year investment plan that is allocated to rejuvenate these installations. And unfortunately, on 78 buildings, it's totally insufficient.
Yeah, that seems like peanuts.
It's right? Peanuts. Yeah. And it's peanuts. And unfortunately, in 2017, recommendations were made by the Youth Council saying that money should have been put in order to have an answer to what was coming, because homelessness is not a new thing in Montreal. And we knew that poverty and homelessness at that time lacked installation and lacked resources. And now the pandemic arrived. Now it's like an overflow.
Is the money not there? Do we not have? Is it choices being made? I hear about the
Elias,
city.
You can
budget.
make an
It's
announcement
huge.
for 2029 to make a bike path out of Camillé Hood.
Yeah.
$90 million. It's a decision. At the end of the day, managing a budget means taking hard decisions. Now you see the plateau, you in Milton Park, you see the village, you see issues in Chinatown and cohabitation issues that like Montreal has never seen.
Yes.
And the answers are not there. Like yesterday, we arrived announcing a proposition for having modular installed in parks. But Elias, I mean, you're supposed to deliver this in March 2025. A month earlier, you're talking about creating a public consultation, mandates the OCPM that will deliver a recommendation next December. So your plan's already made. So why are you consulting?
Can we just talk about this for a second, right? Because I see this, right? The city of Montreal is going to build 60 modular housing units, right? And I'm just wondering, where are these modular units going to go? What are they going to look like? Are we going to take a park and put like glorified tents? Can you just give me some more details here? Because I see this and I say, wait a minute. If we start with 60 modular units, I know how this system works. Oh, well, now we're going to add 100 and 200. And I don't want parking lots and parks to turn into modular housing unit complexes. That's not what I want my city to look like either. So do you know any of those details?
Yeah, I actually saw the plan this morning of one installation. But again, it's Projet Montréal, is announcing things without no coordination or no organization. So yesterday, out of a hat, they just said, one place could be Louvain in Anse-Cartierville and another one could be at the Hippodrome. But in the same sentence, they say you need sewage system and connectivity to water. Both places don't have any. So again, it just demonstrates how much improvisation that this administration is bringing forward to this file and just trying to find and buy time because winter's coming. And right now, all the shelters are full.
And I'm just, we failed at building housing at the Hippodrome for so long in this city. They've had access to that land. The city of Montreal has been in charge of that for a while. And now we're going to put modular homeless housing units.
At this point, Elias, when you have 800 people out in the street, 800 that do not fit in what's offered in shelters, I do agree that we need to get we got to think outside of the box because honestly, unless the provincial and the federal government makes massive investment in our infrastructure, I don't see the city being able to have a quick answer to all the encampments that we have, and the encampments are not a solution.
And I'm tiring of resigning ourselves to this. See, now it's a fact. Oh, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. Why does it have to get worse, right? Benoit, we're out of time. We have to leave it there. It's great talking to you. Thank you for coming into the studio. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Benoit Langevin, he's a city councillor for Ensemble Montréal in Pierrefonds-Roxboro and the official opposition critic on the fight against poverty and homelessness.